We'll call to order the regular meeting of the Eastpointe City Council on Tuesday, January the 5th, 2016. Please rise for the invocation read by Cardi DeMonico and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us give thanks for all that we have, cherish, and possess, especially for the capacity to care and love, to improve ourselves, our families, and community. Understanding the awesome responsibility of public service, we thank you, the mayor and city council members, for using compassion and fairness and for not acting for personal gain or out of fear or favor. As citizens and voters, we possess great hope that our elected officials make choices that give all people in this community, to the extent that they can, an opportunity to achieve the American dream and to help build a greater Eastpointe. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And Council, if you would join me at the rostrum, we're giving a proclamation to the East Detroit Public School System. If you'd like to come up. We have 2 school board members. We have Craig Brzezowski and Charlie Jackson. So welcome to the Eastpointe City Council meeting. Every year we like to recognize our school board for all of the work that you do. It's not been really easy for the last few years, and you guys have done a great job of holding it all together. We appreciate it, and we'd like to recognize you. So this will be read into our meeting in our minutes. So whereas the city of Eastpointe recognizes the importance of public education in our community, our state, and our nation, and whereas the city of Eastpointe recognizes the importance of locally elected men and women representing our community in the governance of our school districts, and whereas East Detroit school board members invest countless hours of their time in service and training to keep abreast of education issues, and whereas the city of Eastpointe recognizes the future of our great land lies in the vision they have and the goals they set for education. Now, therefore, in recognition of these loyal public servants, the City Council of the City of Eastpointe does hereby commend the dedication of the East Detroit School Board and to our children's education. So be it further resolved that the City Council of the City of Eastpointe, on behalf of the entire community, does hereby proclaim January 2016 as School Board Recognition Month, and we urge our fellow citizens to extend personal appreciation to each of the members of the School Board of the East Detroit Public School District. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'd like you to say a few words,
Of course you do.
if you would.
Well, first off, thank you very much, Mayor Pixley, and also thank you to Councilman DeMonico, Councilman Marion, Councilwoman Lucido, and Mayor Pro Tem Kleinfeld. And thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
On behalf of the East Detroit Public Schools.
And Mr. Jackson, would you like to say something?
Probably more than me.
I'd just like to say thank you to everyone, and I know you all work very hard as well, and we appreciate all of your efforts as well.
We always see you involved in all the community activities, and so we would really like to show appreciation for you and other members as well. So thank you very much. Please call the roll.
Councilperson DeMonico.
Here.
Councilperson Lucido.
Here.
Councilperson Kleinfeld.
Here.
Councilperson Marion. Here. Mayor Pixley.
Here. And with that, we'll move to the first hearing of the public. Does anyone wish to be heard at this time? Mr. Creech.
Madam Mayor and Council, Happy New Year. You're probably not going to want to hear what I've got to say today, but I'm here more or less, I guess, on a mission. And my mission is right now to protect the taxpayers. You know, at the present time, as I say, we have more things going than we don't have going. We've just had a result of bad mistidings, maybe through the rec center, but I can go into that a little bit later. But I guess one of the things I wanted to address, I just received a copy, not really of a blueprint, but more or less of the parking lot survey of Spender Park, which was a sideline or a sidebar added on when they did Stevens, which I don't think a whole lot of people knew about. But I mean, I guess the city council voted on it. But I guess what I want to read is, first of all, I'll just show you some pictures, and I guess I'm getting sort of tired of taking pictures too. But I guess pictures speak 1,000 words. And these are, right now, just the pictures from Spender. I understand that Spender isn't done. It still needs the second course. But those are the pictures I've taken right now. And I guess to read this right here, I'm going to start off with the city of Eastpointe for the commissions. I applied in 2012 for the zoning commission. Apparently I didn't make it, and I've been to quite a few meetings and the rest of the stuff. They always say if a person wants to be in society or part of the community, please put an application. So I did. I referred it again in 2015. At one time we had 19 commissions. Now we're down to 13. We've lost 7. We've added 2 additional. But this is just, I'm saying, this is just the start. I'm just going to read the articles itself for planning. And it says, any new use of a development of construction that requires a building permit except single family. We'll let that go from there. Any other items which the building office determines planning commission review is necessary. First, it gets in here, site plan shall be forwarded to the planner, engineer, and city departments heads and checked for completeness, and no plans will be processed unless and complete unless all fees are paid in accordance with the city adopted by city council. Here it goes. It says, the city engineer shall be the planning officer of the city. No subdivision plans. Planning officer and the city planning commission. Number 3, provide all application information to comply with all applicable conditions set forth in Article 5 of the city site plan review checklist. Preliminary plan review. An application in order, the city shall review the plans in accordance with the established plan review procedures. Acceptance might not be from the next planning committee. Duties of the commission. This is the one I like maybe best of all. It says, the commission shall have authority, and it shall be the duty to prepare and recommend plans for other public places. The commission shall have full power and authority to make such investigations, maps, reports, recommendations
You have 30 seconds.
relating the planning commission. It's just one after another after another. I'm just going to say either the commissions can do their job or the residents themselves. If you look at the recreation committee, Mr. Carty, John's been there, Steve's been there, the same thing about it. Somebody's got to start watching what's going on. If we're just putting this in one person's hands, such as the city's engineer, and no one is paying attention to the rest of the stuff, I'm done with it. I'll get with the rest of the people too. We need some people in the city. Checks and balances and the rest of the stuff has to be held on. Take a look at your parking lot out here. Take a look at a lot of this stuff. I'll bring it up again too. I'm sorry, Mary.
You can bring it up at the second hearing of the public.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Does anyone else wish to be heard at this time? Anyone else? Anyone else? With that, the first hearing of the public is closed. We move on to the approval of the minutes from the regular meeting of December the 15th, 2015. We have a motion?
Madam Mayor, I'll motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of December 15th, 2015.
Support.
Move and support. Any any corrections?
At this time.
Please call the roll.
Councilperson DeMonico?
Yes.
Councilperson Marion?
Yes.
Councilperson Lucido?
Yes.
Councilperson Kleinfeld?
Yes.
Mayor Pixley?
Yes. We have one scheduled hearing, and the notice of that special hearing was posted in the Macomb Daily. Do we have anyone here that would like to be heard related to that topic? This is the creation of an industrial development district. Seeing none, then we'll move on to, we have no unfinished business. We'll move on to the city manager for a report from administration. Mr. Duchesne?
Mayor, do we want to take action on the resolution on the IDD?
I think it's on the agenda
Okay.
later.
I'm sorry. I'm a little blurry yet. I guess that's summary of my report. I'm back to work, and I've been complaining about a number of things with the state of Michigan, as you've seen, regarding our, some of our email. Some of it is on your agenda tonight, 571. I was just speaking to Counselor DeMonico and said that the governor still has not planned on signing the bill or doesn't have a definite date on signing it. Obviously, that causes us grave concern. The Michigan Municipal League has been very active in opposition to this. This has been another example of, unfortunately, what's transpired in this last legislative session of some virtual, overnight or midnight surprise actions that I think defeat local control. And in this case, I'm especially offended for and by being a municipal official, but by being a local resident, which seems to indicate that the legislature said you're just not simply smart enough to make your own decisions on taxation, that you would vote against everything unless these people put together some great ballot proposals and questions and mislead you into approving that. I think that is heinous by a legislature to take that position, and I'm very sad to see that take place in Michigan. But it is a win or lose state now. It is not one of good public policy. The other issue was mentioned to me, the water rates article was recently published about water rates to rise substantially. And again, not to go over and over the same thing, but Macomb County and our representative voted no with the Great Lakes Water Authority because people were not taking the time to fully understand the ramifications of it. We still see evidence of that today, even amongst officials who believe there's some kind of 4% rate cap that was part of the GLWA. That is not true. The net revenue raised is promised at 4%. Rates can be, as Chesterfield Township's going to experience, maybe 30% increases. So it was misled. It was, again, no suburban unit of government has benefited by the Great Lakes Water Authority. This has been straight up assistance to the city of Detroit. Your rates will be affected. We will do and continue our policy in Eastpointe, which has managed to have an average rate of 6% or less in our rates, despite pass-on rates from the authority that are bound to rise. But again, I don't know how many times. There was a recent article as of actually December 31st in the Daily, where Mr. Baker of Sterling Heights, our county representative, went over all the reasons that we voted against it. And again, as the rates hit now and people hear it again and see their water rates go up, we want to be clear why we opposed it. That's all. Madam Mayor, excuse me.
Any questions?
I got one question for the city manager. In the payment of bills, there was one that showed it was a final payment to Axion for renovations on the FOB building.
It is a final payment of what we're going to pay Axiom for the FOB.
Okay.
Yeah, I think maybe it's a little misleading of saying it's a final payment, which.
Said the final punch list was corrected and.
Yeah, that's not exactly true. It's our final payment to Axiom. I will say that. We do not expect them to be back on site, and it is the work that they did do and finalize for, but yeah, it is not really a final project in the sense we're going to go on without them, but it's nearly done.
Okay. And then the other question I have, there's also a payment in here of 592 bales of straw that were apparently on the sled hill, and I believe that's the second shipment of those we've received for that site. I think last year there was 600 that came in, and I mean, I didn't go out there and count bales of hay, but I don't know if we've got some livestock over in the DPW yard, or the police department has a mounted division that we don't know about, but it seems like that's a powerful lot of straw we're bringing in,
A lot of hay.
and I don't know, are we losing some of it, or? I
I
could see, 10 bales
have
here
to
for
check.
decorations for Halloween, but it just seems like a huge amount of straw that we're bringing on site.
I wonder if some of that was also used on Kelly Road, when they laid all new
They have quite a bit over there because they have, like bales in front of every single tree. They have the whole like border along the top done, and the whole parking lot is surrounded with bales of hay, like a couple stacks high. So they do have quite a bit over by the.
I just
snowmobile.
counted the width of the parking lot and just did some quick math, and it
Yeah,
only
but in
came
the
up
back
to like
they have it
100
too.
bales.
I mean, I don't know if they have that many, but they do have quite a bit.
Yeah,
Okay.
actually, that number doesn't sound too shocking to me based on what was covered, but I'll ask where we are as far as how
And
we
then-
trucked it in.
The other concern I have, it was to Structures Unlimited, was for fabric repair tape for the salt barn. Apparently, there was some kind of damage sustained to the covering. Was it an accident? Was there a warranty issue there, or what's the problem?
I don't know about the recent, it was backed into when it was fairly new by an employee with a truck. But I don't know if that was this repair. We'll have to investigate that, Mr. Marion.
Okay.
Anything else? So, Mr. Duchesne, there was a thing on Facebook late this afternoon that said they felt that the governor did sign the bill, and I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I didn't see that. I mean, the last
For
information.
571. I looked on legislature.my.gov, so that wasn't updated if it
Yeah,
was
it's-
signed.
I saw
guess.
it came across like about 5 o'clock this afternoon.
The one about straight party voting was signed.
No, I know that one
Oh,
was,
okay.
but also the other ones.
I don't know.
I
It's
hope
just-
not.
It's hard, yeah, it's hard to keep track of what's being
and-
slipped by.
And I don't quite understand the rationale, because if you had a state ballot, they could provide the information to local residents. But if it was a local government millage, then it wasn't.
Oh, I disagree. I think you understand very well what you just said. If it's a state ballot issue and the legislature deems it necessary, you can talk all about it. But if it's your local issue and you're going to have your local taxpayers make it, then there's a gag order. I think plain and simple, that's what it is, and it's horrendous.
All
I
right.
think you said it well.
Well, that's one of the reasons why we were putting this on the agenda for tonight. Anything else for city manager?
No.
All right, let's move on to finance director, Mr. Bloom.
Actually, I want to touch on the hay bales real quick. We had the insurance review people came out when they found out we had a sled hill. We finally let them know. They were actually very impressed with what we had done with all the hay bales and protecting the trees, because people are going to be stupid, and we kind of got to help protect them from that. They did make a lot of recommendations that would be things like ground cover, planting of small bushes or grasses on the backside of the hill. And they have grants through MMRMA for things like that, where they will do some cost sharing. We're working with a landscape company to get some pricing. You'll probably see some stuff later on this year that we might spend $5,000 and be able to get half of it back from insurance. But the whole thing would be designed to make sure that people don't injure themselves in their stupidity. But the hay bales are a good start, and they were very appreciative of us having those out there. So
Seems like rose bushes would be a good idea.
it can't be something that's going to poke an eye out. They were very specific on that. So you got to pick the right ground cover. But anyways, the other thing I wanted to mention is last week we did receive a lawsuit from a retiree. It'll be an interesting one, but I just want to give you a heads up, and city attorney can touch on this a bit. I don't want to go into names, but a little of the specifics is he retired in December of '96, got married in June of '97, and has been trying ever since to get his new wife on the health insurance, including having a hearing before the pension board in the fall of '97, where obviously she didn't meet the criteria and was rejected. So 18 and a half years later, he's decided to file a suit against the city. But just wanted to let you know what's going on. It should be interesting. And that's all I have for tonight.
Anyone have any questions?
No, just thank you for the LED lights report. That
Yep.
was exactly what I was hoping to see.
And once we get the next round in, the annual bill is going to drop even further, so,
Okay,
yep.
thank you.
Right, let's move on to Mr. Albright.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of council. Following up with Mr. Blum's comments, our office is in receipt of this lawsuit. Was filed in December of 2015. I've had a chance to review the complaint as well as all the materials that Mr. Blum did provide me. We anticipate filing an answer along with affirmative defenses sometime next week. At this point, in looking at the complaint, I don't believe it has any merit. Looking at our firm's monthly status report, item 1, back in October of 2015, the council had touched on the idea of possibly amending the ordinance to allow the raising of backyard chickens. There was some minor discussion on that topic, and the council had requested that the matter be revisited in either January or February of this year, and so that's why I included just a brief write-up in my monthly status report. If this is something that the council wants to pursue further, we can certainly prepare an ordinance amendment. But if I recall, it didn't seem like there was a lot of interest with the council back in October at that time with amending the ordinance. But this resident had come before the Planning Commission back in 2015, and based on her request, I did some research and contacted various city attorneys that allow backyard chickens, and had included copies of the ordinances to the Planning Commission. So I have all of the materials and what those ordinances look like. It doesn't seem like after going through all the work that residents in those other communities actually raised chickens for whatever reason. I think there was only one community, in fact, that had one resident that actually utilized the ordinance after the city council went ahead and amended its ordinance. So again, if this is something that the city council wants our office to pursue further, I can certainly prepare a proposed ordinance amendment and bring it back in front of the city council. This would be something that would come in front of the council for an ordinance amendment, as opposed to going first in front of the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission then would be faced with possibly which zoning district to allow it in as far as setbacks from other residences and that kind of thing.
As well as determination of accessory buildings that you would have to pay.
Right.
Place in a lot. Council, do any of you absolutely want to have chickens?
No, it's
No.
not something I would,
I don't think it's something that I would think it was a good idea.
I think it opens the door for too many other things, so I'd say let's keep it closed.
Yeah.
Mr. DeMonico?
I'd be fine with it, I think. At least looking a little more into it, I haven't researched it enough yet, but seems like it's not a big deal in other cities, and
Some of
you
the
know,
other
if it's
cities,
not a,
some of the other cities where it's been approved have much larger lot sizes. We have some properties that have very large lots, but we have a lot of properties that are only 40 foot wide.
well, so does St. Clair Shores. They were one of the cities, right, that allow them? Or was it St. Clair
I
Shores?
don't believe St. Clair Shores
Oh.
allows them.
What was the city we talked about last time?
Roseville?
Oh, Roseville. Well, Roseville's got small lots too, like us. But,
Madison Heights, I believe, was another community that allowed them.
all right, so,
Well, it's 4 to 1.
yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Democracy.
The other, two other items, city administration sent over requests for 12 new dangerous building hearings. Anticipate that those will be heard with the city's hearing officer sometime at the end of this month or first part of February. We're in the process right now of just ordering title work for the 12 properties and coordinating a time with the city's hearing officer. And then just a reminder, next Tuesday, we have, as of right now, 12 show cause hearings regarding existing dangerous building hearings. Those hearings are scheduled to begin at 6:30 here at City Hall. So, and I'm happy to answer any questions the council may have regarding our monthly status report. I know this month it was rather lengthy. It's up to 13 pages, so I apologize for that, but I wanted to touch on everything that's going on with the city legal-wise, so.
If I could piggyback just briefly on Mr. Albright's comment on dangerous buildings, and we have signed the contract with the approved vendor for the demolition company. They are ready to work, and I think that when we finalize our process, we'll have an initial 5 properties to give them, and pending utility cutoff and services, we'll be able to act within a matter of weeks in demoing those, and in good position to go ahead with what may be the 12 or more. in the future. So I just want to say that.
Any further questions?
All right, thank you.
Okay, let's move on to new business, and we'll start with item A, the adoption of the resolution number 1804 related to the creation of an industrial development district. We have a motion?
Madam Mayor, I'll motion to adopt resolution number 1804, which establishes an industrial development district, Sigma Manufacturing Services LLC, and authorize the city manager to execute all necessary documents related to this matter.
Support.
Move with support. Any further comments? Please call the roll.
Councilperson DeMonico?
Yes.
Councilperson Kleinfeld?
Yes.
Councilperson Marion?
Yes.
Mayor Pixley?
Yes.
Councilperson Lucido?
Yes.
Item B is the adoption of resolution number 1805, which is opposition to the Senate Bill 571. We have a motion?
I motion to adopt resolution number 1805, which opposes Senate Bill 571, prohibiting a public body or a person acting for a public body from using public funds or resources for the purpose of communicating any information to the electorate regarding a local ballot question that is to appear on a ballot within 60 days of an election.
Support.
Moved and support. Any further discussion on this?
I think we hit it on the head earlier.
Please call the roll.
Councilperson Lucido?
Yes.
Councilperson Marion?
Yes.
Mayor Pixley?
Yes.
Councilperson DeMonico?
Yes.
Councilperson Kleinfeld?
Yes.
And our next item of business is to schedule a public hearing for Tuesday, February the 2nd, at 7 PM for information regarding the 2016 CDBG funds. We need a motion for that.
Madam Mayor, I'll motion to schedule a public hearing on the City of Eastpointe's fiscal year 2016 Community Development Block Grant application in the amount of $138,141 for Tuesday, February 2nd, 2016 at 7 PM in the City Hall Council Chambers for the purpose of receiving public comment.
Support.
Move support. Please call the roll.
Councilperson DeMonico?
Yes.
Councilperson Kleinfeld?
Yes.
Mayor Pixley?
Yes.
Councilperson Lucido?
Yes.
Councilperson Marion?
Yes.
And with that, we'll move to payroll and bills. We have a motion to pay the bills.
Madam Mayor, I'll motion to pay the bills in the amount of $3,208,572.97.
Support.
Move with support. And there've been a couple questions related to the bills. Does anyone have any additional?
Nope.
Please call the roll.
Councilperson Kleinfeld?
Yes.
Councilperson DeMonico?
Yes.
Councilperson Lucido?
Yes.
Councilperson Marion?
Yes.
Mayor Pixley?
Yes. With that, we'll move to the second hearing of the public. Does anyone wish to be heard? Mr. Creech?
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Council. First, I guess, you've seen the pictures to the parking lot. Here are some of the pictures of your rec center right now. We put our money into. I'll get to that in just a minute or two. But I guess, for quick summary, it says, in the event that the zoning map becomes damaged, destroyed, lost, or difficult to interpret because of the nature of the number of changes and additions, the city council may by resolution adopt a new zoning map. The new zoning map may correct drafting of other errors or omissions in a poor zoning map, and such corrections shall have the effect of amending the original zoning map and subsequent to amendment. I don't know when the last time this thing was updated, but if you can understand it, you're a heck of a person. There's a lot of changes that have been made in this map, in the zoning for areas. I don't know when the last time I said the copyright is and the rest of the stuff. This one cost me $14. If I was a business person coming to this city and you showed me this, I'd laugh in your face. So you can take that for what it's worth. The council can change it, they can update it and bring it up to it. And this is the one, I asked for the most recent one, but this is it. Reverting back to what I started with, I said, number one, it says, no parking lot shall be constructed of the existing parking lot improved until site plan has been reviewed and approved in accordance with Article 5. I just broke it down in comparison. These are the questions and what I've got right off the top of my head. Mr. Carty's seen what we've gone through. John, you've seen what we've gone through. Steve has seen what we've gone through in excess. In Spindler, I asked for one thing. I guess we assume, since we have no plan or blueprint, that under the base, what kind of base do we got? Did we pulverize it? Are we using 1100? Are we gonna undercut the bad places? Who knows? I'm gonna ask anybody who can tell me, since we have no plan or anything else like that. Number two, did we have any tests? Do we have any ground samples? Number three, course. What kind of courses are we using? Are we using asphalt? What kind of asphalt are we using? We're using the bottom course and the top course the same? We just went through that. We lost out on that. Are we using 3? Are we using 6? Are we using 4-6? 3-6 is residential, 4-6 is commercial for a parking lot. Are we using 4 inches of asphalt and 6 inches of subbase? Are we using 1100? We're using pulverized? These are questions that I'd like to find out, and I'd like to answer before this goes any farther. I know we're only halfway through, but I'm going to keep going. Retention bases. I see that over there right now. There's no cement around the retention bases of the sewer. Is it going to be asphalt or is it going to be concrete? Look at your library for a typical example. Look at this parking lot out here in the back. Steve, last year, I appreciate you did this. The first time I met Steve, our parking lot, we had all asphalt. He got cement. He saved what little bit we got left. Our parking lot right now is totally destroyed. If we take that one over there and leave it the way it is, it won't last. Somebody's spending money uselessly without knowing what's going on. I want to know what's going on, and the rest of the taxpayers want to know what's going on. Curbing and approaches. The curbing, all the...
You have 30 seconds.
50% of the old curbing is cracked. Some of the new curbing is already cracked. You've already seen the pictures in there. Getting to the recreation center, right here are the pictures of the old place, and I said there's a lot of things I want to talk about like that too. In February, I know there's an election coming up. I don't know if there's an opening in there, but I put in, I would like to be on the council. I know, John, you became a council person, and you're on the board or
Your time
commission.
is up, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else wish to be heard at this time? Anyone else? Seeing none, the second hearing of the public is closed. We'll move to mayor and council reports. We'll start with Mr. DeMonico.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just real quick update today, a couple comments I meant to say during the Industrial Development District. This will be a great program for us as they stated, Sigma stated, they'll be creating 20 jobs in Eastpointe over 2 years, and they're of course rehabbing the 2 buildings, which they've already rehabbed quite a bit. Looks really nice over there, so that's it's nice to see a couple buildings on 10 Mile there getting fixed up. And then just a couple things coming up that I wanted to tell folks about. January 12th, so next week, Tuesday, State of the Union will be the president's last one at 9 p.m. Eastern. And then Sunday, January 17th at the Military Museum, there will be a lecture, 2 p.m. They're always at 2 p.m. It's about amphibious operations in the Pacific during World War II, if anyone's interested. And that was all I had, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Marion?
I'd just like to make sure, wish everyone a Happy New Year. A couple quick updates for my dog in the dog park. If everybody hasn't done it, your key fobs are going to be turned off. You need to get in and renew them so that you can continue using the dog park. Also, there's etiquette classes already scheduled for the 13th and the 16th of this month. They're free to attend, but they're required in order to get a key fob. That's it.
Thank you. Mrs. Lucido?
I just have a couple of quick library announcements. This Wednesday is family movie night at 6 p.m. And Thursday, January 16th at 6:30 p.m., the DIA will be there to give a presentation. And also remember that every Thursday morning at 10:15 is family story time. So if you can come out and have the opportunity to bring your kids out, it's a nice event they do there. And I believe that's it.
Thank you.
Thanks. I just want to wish everyone a happy 2016 and say thank you to the school board members for coming today. I know it's a tough job, and I really appreciate it. And on a personal note, I want to say congratulations and good luck to my sister because she's moving out to California. She's on her way right now. She's driving out there, and she's currently in Wyoming. So good luck to her. Hope she makes it there safe and enjoys it.
Oh, my. Oh, thank you. I'd like to wish everybody a Happy New Year, and my heart just sank when you said Wyoming, because my daughters and granddaughters were there playing a soccer tournament last weekend, and it was 14 below zero on Saturday, so, bless her. I'd just like to wish everybody a Happy New Year. Mr. Creech, you know, we do have some answers for many of the questions that you were asking today related to the parking lot. I'm sure that Mr. Pry or Mr. Duchesne can answer many of those questions, because that was just the first layer in that parking lot. It's just a temporary thing, and it's not going to be finished until next year, but the parking lot wasn't such a disaster. We went ahead and initiated some of the actions, so it's not complete, but it will be completed. And I'm not sure about everything related to the rear parking lot, but Mr. Marion can probably update you on all of that. And that's all I have for right now, so I'll entertain a motion to go into closed session.
Make a motion to move to closed session.
I'll second.
Gotta say,
What's,
For attorney-client privilege.
Oh, I'm sorry, for attorney-client privilege communications.
Do we have support?
Support.
Call the roll.
Councilmember Marion? Yes. Councilmember Lucido?
Yes.
Councilmember Kleinfeld?
Yes.
Mayor Pixley?
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico?
yes.